update. My parents gave their home as a wedding gift to my sister, even though I had been paying their mortgage for 5 years. 2 months later, they wanted to move to my vacation house, so I refused them. But then, the cops called me. She abruptly closed her mouth, but her eyes were still full of indignation. I turned back to the officers. "I'd like a word in private, please." We stepped away from my parents and Mark. "I don't want to press charges against them," I said quietly. "They're still my parents, even if they're being absolutely ridiculous right now. But I can't have them staying here either." The officer nodded. "We understand, family situations can be complicated. We can take them to the station for a few hours, give them a stern warning about trespassing, then release them. Sometimes a few hours in a holding cell can be a good reality check." I considered this. That might be the wake-up call they need. "Yes, please do that." I walked back to where my parents were sitting. "The officers are going to take you to the police station for a few hours. I'm not pressing charges, but I want you to understand how serious this is. You cannot just move into someone's house without permission, even if you're family." The car with the police and my parents left while we waited for the locksmith. I arranged for my parents' belongings to be taken to a nearby storage facility. I paid for 1 month and texted the details to my sister since my parents' numbers were still blocked. The locksmith arrived and changed all the locks. By the time we left, the house was secure again. On the drive home, I felt drained but also strangely liberated. For the first time in my adult life, I had stood up to my parents' manipulation and refused to be taken advantage of. "What do you think they'll do now?" Mark asked as we neared our apartment. "Probably go crying to Lily," I guessed. "She can deal with them. She got the house, she can take the responsibility that comes with it." I wasn't naive enough to think this was over though. Knowing my mother, she would find a way to make me look like the villain in all this. She always did. I was right. A week later, I opened Facebook to find a long dramatic post from my mother. It had already gathered dozens of sympathetic comments from relatives and family friends. "Today I learned what it means to be abandoned by your own child," it began. "My husband and I, in our golden years, have been cast out like unwanted pets. Our eldest daughter, Tessa, had the police remove us from her vacation home like common criminals, leaving us with nowhere to go." The post went on, conveniently, leaving out the fact that they had given their house to Lily, that I had been paying their mortgage for years, and that they had tried to move into my vacation home against my explicit refusal. As I scrolled through the comments, people calling me heartless, cruel, ungrateful, something inside me snapped. I started typing my own post in response. It was time for everyone to hear the whole truth. I've stayed silent about family matters until now, but since my mother has chosen to make our private issues public, I feel I need to share my side of the story. Here are the facts that were conveniently left out of my mother's post. For the past 5 years, I have been paying the mortgage on my parents' house, because they couldn't afford it due to health issues and reduced work hours. I did this willingly because they're my family, and they needed help. 3 weeks ago, at my sister Lily's wedding, which I also helped pay for, my parents announced they were giving their house, the one I'd been paying for, to my sister as a wedding gift. They did this without consulting me, or even giving me a heads up. When I finally spoke to them after the wedding, they informed me that they had planned